Very excited to have Through Fire to co-host the LA Lloyd Rock Countdown for their second time as we throw it to the guys with Hales in Columbus, Ohio. Guys, welcome back to the show. Glad to have you here.
Great. Very excited to be back with you. It's actually the first time I've been with you in person.
Yeah, first time for me with Through Fire in general. I've not seen you guys play yet. I've just heard tons of rumors from like all of my radio friends, Lloyd included, that like, oh, you gotta meet Through Fire. They're like badass dudes. They're really nice. They kill it on stage. So very excited to meet you for the first time.
I'll start off with a question for you. How many bad rumors have you heard? They're
0.
not true.
All the bad ones, they're crap. It's all the good ones. That's it. That's all we want.
Looks like Hales is going to be having all the fun. I'm here in the Rock Countdown studios. We're all over North America. Through Fire co-hosting today for their second time, but for Justin McCain, the guitarist, is actually his third appearance on here because originally he was on the show from his previous band called Emphatic, which Grant was also the vocalist of that band as well. So guys, a band's name is what we call in marketing your brand. It's what you're known for, what you're famous for, and you had your brand as Emphatic for 11 years. Now, I got to tell you, the name Through Fire speaks volumes to me after you have gone through what you had to get here today. But tell me about the process of picking a new name for the band and how difficult that process was.
To be honest with you, it took a little bit to come up with a name, and for good reason. I mean, we wanted it to really represent who we were as people and what we had been through. And for us, it's like this is something that we're committing to long term. You know, doing this for a living. You know, writing music that really means something to people, giving our all on stage. So you need a name that's really going to represent all of that. And for a little while, we were kind of overthinking it, and Through Fire just stuck out because it's like it makes perfect sense. That's basically what we've been through. It's like we've been through everything. We've been to hell and back, you know, from before this band, you know, all our hard work approaching where we are now. It's like we'll do whatever it takes, and we're not going to stop. And I think Through Fire really represents that very well. Grant, what do you have to add to that?
Not really a lot, other than I guess just kind of second that and just say, yeah, it's like not only what we had been through or anything like that. It's almost like a lyric, even just like it's alive, it's real. And it's not. We didn't want a name that would be like just something that we threw at the wall, and, you know, it's just some off the wall random name or anything like that. It was just bogus and didn't really have any meaning. We wanted something that actually means something, just like when he writes lyrics. We want it to mean something.
My partner Hales is hanging out with Through Fire in Columbus, Ohio. We have them linked up to the LA Lloyd Rock Countdown studios as they co-host today for their second time. And Justin, I want you to tell me a little bit about writing the lyrics from your personal view to how it translates to Grant singing those lyrics, because what you may be thinking may not be what he is feeling emotionally when he lays down the vocals in the studio and records them.
I think in general, the beautiful thing about music is it's all emotion, and as I touched on before, everyone can connect with the song in their own way. So when I'm writing something, it may be based upon something I'm living through, but Grant and I actually just had this conversation the other night. He feels connected to different lyrics on the album in his own way too, and you can see that passion when you watch him live. And I seen it in the studio. I actually just got a chill because I could see just the place he was coming from when he was singing these songs in the studio. And it's like really kind of cool just to sit back and watch someone really take a lyric and bring it to life through sound and just what they've gone through, their experiences, and how it's actually translating in their mind. So it's a pretty cool process, but there's absolutely no lack of passion between the two, or there's no disconnect.
You know, it's kind of cool that, you know, you've toured with so many bands that have given you the opportunity to open for them, and now you kind of bringing some of the other up-and-coming bands as well, so that must feel pretty cool.
American Sin, they're up-and-coming, our label mates actually,
yeah.
So they're fantastic. I mean, if you haven't seen them yet, definitely check them out. And then Danger Kids, I mean,
hard band to follow up, to be honest with you. Just so much energy on stage and great songs. So we're excited about the package as a whole. It's awesome watching all these. They're bands we like, you know, so it's pretty cool.
And how did you guys all come together? I know American Sin, you said label mates. I think Danger Kids are actually from Ohio as well, which is pretty cool to have them back up in their home state. But then you've got Righteous Vendetta from Wyoming, and then you guys are from Nebraska, right?
Yeah.
So like, how does that all, how do you find each other at that point?
We met Righteous Vendetta, what
Otherwise?
tour? On the Otherwise tour, yeah. So we did a tour with Otherwise, and they were on that tour as well. And we just hit it off right away. They're all such nice guys. I mean, if their music sucked, we would love them. But their music is awesome on top of that. So it's like, wow, this is the real deal here. Awesome
so
music,
well,
great people. So it was a no-brainer to bring them out. And like I said, American Sin, we were on the same label, so keep it in the family there, and they're all nice guys. And Danger Kids, to be honest with you, I didn't know much about them before this tour, but typically how it works is the agents kind of work together, you know, and submit different bands and stuff. And we checked them out, and we're like, wow, these guys are dope.
Through Fire co-hosting today for their second time on the Rock Countdown, and they're hanging out in Columbus, Ohio with my partner Hales. Great tour that they were just recently on with Danger Kids, Righteous Vendetta, American Sin, that went through the end of the year. About to launch some new dates with Fozzy late February. So guys, man, it's so great to have you on the Countdown today.
We're stoked to be back here. People must like us here.
Are you guys doing anything different for the headliner for this run of shows as opposed to some of the other tours you've been on recently?
We're playing the album in its entirety.
Oh, nice.
Typically, you know, when we're out as a support band, we don't, you know, have the opportunity to play the whole album because our set's a little bit shorter. So a little bit more bells and whistles here and there, but pretty straightforward aside from that.
I was kind of curious when you guys were writing the songs for the album Breathe and had a lot of negativity surrounding you. Did you feel like the lyrics were about what other people were trying to say and you actually put it into music, or try to give it just more of a positive light in general?
I think it's a combination of both, and not necessarily people throwing negativity at us, but just a response to negativity in general, whether that's something going on in your life that you don't like, that you want to change, and that may be reflective of a certain individual in your life or just a certain situation. I think the album really resonates with people because all the songs are full of emotions that people deal with every single day, so you can relate to the songs in your own way, you know what I mean? And I think at the end of that, it creates a positivity because it's a release.
My partner Hales, she's in Columbus, Ohio, and today she has our guest co-host by her side. That would be Through Fire, and I know you guys have been hitting the road so hard, and you got to continue to do it while the fire is hot in regards to the success of your current single and your latest album. But I know after touring so long, you got to be thinking about possibly getting back into the studio sometime, right?
Grant and I had this album finished, what was it, at least 3-4 months before we signed with Sumerian Records. So for us, we've been living on this record for like 3.5 years. Yeah. So we've been ready, you know, and itching, you know, to get into the studio. So always working on new things, and we anticipate getting back into the studio to work on the sophomore release sometime next year.
My partner Hales, she's based in Columbus, Ohio, where today she's actually got our guest co-host Through Fire at her side today. And guys, I wanted to talk about, for that L.A. Lloyd Rock Countdown listener who has not heard your album Breathe, or maybe a song on the radio or seen a live show, it's a new year, and why should they give you guys a shot and experience your music from Through Fire?
Yeah, final thoughts on that. We just want to say thank you to everybody that's ever came out and seen us play and had a good time with us, that's heard the music on the radio, requested it, bought it, downloaded it. Any part that you've had in what we do, we just appreciate, and we're very grateful and thankful for that. And now we hope to have your support continue forever. So
it's all about you know, having a family environment. You know, you're there for us, we're there for you. We're going to give our all every single night, and give you a reason to come back, and we appreciate every single person that comes out to these shows. And I want to quickly add, you mentioned Nothing More earlier. Huge congratulations to them. They just got 3 Grammy nominations, and I think that's a great example of how radio can get behind a band and help build it, and that is just so fantastic for the rock scene. I mean, I couldn't be more proud of those guys, and I think it's just huge for rock radio, for rock in general. So we're excited to be playing in this time. You know, I think the game's changing, and everyone's a part of it, and it's pretty awesome.
Now, our guest co-host Through Fire hanging out with Hales today. And Hales, I wanted you to ask the guys about their upcoming tour with Fozzy, which is going to be getting underway late February.
I know that like the first week of tour always feels a bit off because you're trying to learn a new routine. You're used to the last tour. You're still getting in the swing of things for the new tour. So what is like one comfort thing that you have on every single tour, whether it's a physical thing or like a personal like routine thing that you do?
I have Grant. It's always comforting to know that the singer is here, because if he wasn't here, it wouldn't be a good show. We have a buddy system in our band, so we're always going everywhere together. Not that we don't go to the bathroom together.
I was just about to ask, like, do you bunk up together or bathroom situation?
No, but seriously, I don't know. Do you have any sort of comfort things?
Yeah, money.
Money. He brought money this time.
Yeah.
Something people in bands very rarely do, I will say. It's a rarity to have money when you're on the road. But good thing that you have it, so you're not going to get stranded anywhere.
You don't want to starve, you know?
That is going to be a great tour with Through Fire and Fozzy together. And your big track, Breathe, ended up at the number 35 position for the LA Lloyd 2017 Year in Rock Countdown. So radio definitely is embracing your band. Looks like Where You Lie is going to do as well for you also. So I got to think you're seeing bigger crowds where you're getting your songs played in particular cities, especially like Columbus, right?
Well, first of all, in regard to how it feels to be on radio, going into each different city and hearing your song, it's surreal every time. For me, at least, it never gets old. We're so grateful for it, because there's only so many songs a station can play, and so when they get behind a band, it really means something, and it's just incredible. So, we always hoped that, our songs would resonate at radio and with all the listeners, and we've been fortunate enough to be in that situation. So it's been absolutely fantastic. And as you said, we've seen a lot of success with Breathe. That went top 10. That was our second single. So that was just mind-blowing to us, because it's hard to get up there, So it connected, and it's been awesome. And in regard to this single, we don't know. We always hope for the best. So we just keep pushing and grinding and working every day, and wherever it lands, and we'll be grateful for it.
And how has the radio translated for you guys for your live shows and your tours and your ticket sales and your merch and stuff like that? Like, because I was just recently on the first leg of a tour with the guys in Nothing More, and it was very much like all of the bands, you could see like which radio markets were radio markets because you sold so much better in those ones. Are you kind of seeing the same thing?
Yeah, absolutely. You can always see growth where there's support, if it's truly connecting, if it's real. And like I said, fortunately for us, the songs have been connecting, and people are showing up. They're buying tickets. We're not sitting here trying to be like we're superheroes of the rock world and we're selling out stadiums. We're grateful for 100 people to show up, and the next time 150, and the next time 200. So it's that seeing that growth process, and it's been absolutely fascinating to watch that. Just knowing your song is playing in a market and going there and gaining fans more and more each time. Columbus is a great example. We've been here a few times, and each time the crowd gets bigger, so it's awesome.
Through Fires with my partner Hales there in Columbus, Ohio. A few minutes ago, we talked about how your fan base was so much bigger in those cities where you were getting radio airplay for your music. So let's reverse that and talk about seizing the moment where you don't get the radio airplay and your songs may not be that familiar. And what do you do to get those new fans?
Just try to take advantage of the opportunity to win them over. So, and hopefully the next time they come around, they bring all their family and friends and have a great time, buy some shirts, and we'll see them every time we come back and make a lifetime friendship with them.
Yeah, it's all about working hard. We don't want any handouts. So, for example, we may go into a market that hasn't played the band yet, and we'll show them why we deserve it, and we don't want them to play the band until they feel like they truly want to get behind the band, and for the right reasons. So we're willing to put in the hard work, and that's what we've done in a lot of these markets. And then the stations will come in, or it can happen the opposite too. They hear it right away, but Yeah, it's all about grinding.
And I think that's part of the reason all of my personal radio friends and like people I know just in other cities who have seen you guys who maybe aren't in radio keep saying like such nice things about you guys. Is like they're really good on stage. They aren't anything different than their record. They're very much at face value. This is what we do. We love our music and we're good people. So just keep doing what you're doing a great job.
Well, 3 out of the 4 of us are good people. Questionable.
Always fun when we can take the Rock Countdown on the road, linking up with our studios here, Hales and Through Fire in Columbus. We are based here in Austin and we broadcast all over North America. And you guys write songs based on your own experiences or the experience of someone close to you. So I was kind of curious how challenging it is to relive those emotions associated with each song when you have to perform them live each night.
I don't think it's challenging for me because live is that's just the perfect outlet to release everything that's bottled up inside. That's how it is for me, and also just feed off the crowd. The energy the crowd gives back to us. So there's many different levels of where this adrenaline is coming from, where this energy is coming from, and it's always awesome. What about you, Grant?
Every night it's easy for me to get into it. It's almost like in the studio. I remember how I felt when we were doing it then, and just try to put it out there live for you the best we can every night.
And that right there, my friends, is true professionalism at its finest. It was very cool to have Through Fire hanging out with us today, hanging out with my partner there in Columbus. So, Hales, I'll let you and the guys kind of take us out today.
Me and Lloyd are at least going to try and help you guys get to where you got to be, because You guys are working hard. We recognize that. And
well,
again,
I love Lloyd. I've known him for many years, but I might like you even better.
Oh. Watch out, Lloyd.
You hear that, Lloyd? I said it.
Well, again, the guys of Through Fire, Grant and Justin, you can pick up their new album, Breathe, right now. And it is Hales for the LA Lloyd Rock Countdown here in Columbus, Ohio.